What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Russell here with more Watcher of Realms. The gear dungeons got themselves a nice juicy update. You can see we have stage 10 here. I've already beaten this. It's been out for a little while, but I wanted to run you guys through what I used to beat it. There's this more traditional approach, and then there's a Carnelian one that I will show you. I'll show you at the end here. But I left all of my gear on these guys so that I could reduce the cognitive load in trying to remember, who did what, because I don't know which order these will go out in, but there will also be one for Gear Dungeon 1. These are sort of like luxury clears. There's plenty of people that are going to be doing this is what you can do with like the minimum gear, the minimum epics and all that. So this is more of a fun, if you have all the stuff and you don't necessarily know how to do it or the timings or whatever, this is more for you. I tend to represent the higher ends, the end game, if you will. The larger accounts. So that's what we're gonna do here. And of course, if you want to just live vicariously through that, you are more than welcome to attend as well. Happy to have you here. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So like I said, this is a more traditional comp. We have all the good stuff. We have Edith, we have Eloin, we've got Hex, Torador, Ardea. This is, like I said, we're going for a luxury clear. We want to smooth out as much of the problems that we tend to have. And of course, if you don't have all of these tunes, there are plenty of other creators that might have something more towards what your account can produce. Regardless, I figured somebody would want to see this, so that's what we're going to be doing here. The explanation for the comp goes as follows. We have Araka here for the Lord bonus, and Hex. Hex is a monster at single target magic damage. If you don't have him, there are substitutions in the form of like Zillitu and all that, but of course, if you have Hex, you want to use Hex. I don't know if his exclusive artifact is required. I have it. I just pulled it. I want to say like a month ago, like recently-ish, when I originally beat Stage 6, back when that was the highest level. I did not have his exclusive, and it was very difficult. There was a ton of RNG involved, and I had to deal with hundreds, it felt like hundreds of failed runs because of his randomness. But eventually we did get the job done. His exclusive, the Sutra, will just smooth that over. Like I said, luxury. Here we have Lily with the extended range, and potentially to keep someone like Hatset alive just a little bit longer should she suffer from fatal damage. I don't think mine does, but she's there in case we need it, and I think she is a better choice over Nasande. Eloin is of course the Rage Goddess, and I don't think her cleanse comes up here, but she has the extended alt range, which I also think doesn't come up here, but it could if you needed it to. However, she just puts out really good heals. She has some incredible tankiness, and she gives everyone a global rage buff, and who doesn't love that? Edith, this is the only piece of content where she is relevant, unfortunately, but where she shines perfectly well. Her knockback for 2 enemies in this stage. 2 enemies out of, what is it, 58, 60, something like that. It's ridiculous, but she is borderline required for this, especially stage 10, and I'll show you that in a minute. Torador, he can be replaced, but of course, if you have Torador, you want to use him. He has the revive, which comes up against one of the Volka clones. He has the incredible Lord bonus, which really helps out Hatset especially, and he's a tank. He has a really thick ass. Hatset, she, assuming you aren't so new to the game that you haven't even unlocked Gear Dungeon, you know why Hatset is good here. Similarly with Valeria, she can spawn in and just deal with the physically weak Volka clone. She also does not count towards the death toll. Let's bring that up here. So for this boss here, you don't actually fight her. So I don't know why any of this is relevant, but she has Bloodbath, and Bloodbath gains a power-up from this Sacred Blood Siphon. The Frenzied Bloods. I'll learn how to talk one of these days. The Frenzied Blood Mistress draws blood from defeated or retreated heroes to significantly enhance her own attack. Valeria does not count for this, so she does not gain a buff from Valeria's explosion. You have to let her use her ult, and she has to die from it for it to not count. But that's, of course, incredibly relevant here. And Volka, she is here really just to smooth everything over in general. She grants heals to anyone who manages to deal damage. She has some tankiness herself. She's actually used to block. I'll be showing gear and artifacts after this, but she could be replaced by someone like Abomination. I did it that way before, but yeah, that's the role she serves here. And then of course Ardea is just the queen of damage in general. She's technically single target, but she hits 7 single targets at a time. So, you know, do your math there. She handles the bottom. In this comp, she handles the bottom, and in the alternate, I'll end up showing you she handles the left side. Little spoiler for you there. So let's go ahead and load up the match, and it's not... It doesn't really matter how big everything is. It's never going to be perfect, so I might have to reload. Just warning you now. But we're going to toss in Ardea first, give her the invigoration buff from Eloin, then toss in Edith. And we'll speed things up. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, by the way, this tile here, that is why Edith is basically required. Because in, like for example, in my original clear, I didn't have Edith. So you would use something like Broke here, and he would sit on this tile. This tile right here, which is now covered in magic thorns. Which is kind of BS, if I'm being honest with you. It was required because this gargoyle explosion covers like this range, 2 tiles, which means if you have your tank here, like Broke here, you would let the gargoyle approach and then you would kill it, and then Broke here would survive, but then everything around here would die. And that's obviously not an option. You could use Carnelian to cheese that, but it does get pretty dicey. I tried it, and I wasn't able to clear it that way. I could probably do it now, but you know, of course, I don't have to now. So we'll come back in here and we will toss out Volka. The timing on her doesn't really matter all that much. I just bring her out first because she is covered in Eloin's range. So as soon as possible, I was going to speed that up, but let's actually drop in our nymph. Wood Elf, I call her a nymph, and recall her for some extra cost. I can't say it's required necessarily because I haven't tested it, but it definitely helps. Or at least it helps in some other comps. Like I said, I've been paying too much attention to whether or not it works here. It's just a habit that I've built up. So now we want to go ahead and pop Edith's ult, kick that gargoyle back. And you might have to use Eloin's ult here to prevent Ardea from dying, or whoever you have here. Usually it's like Volka or something. And in fact, I might even recommend it because I don't think you're going to need Eloin's ult for a little bit, but we were obviously fine here, so that doesn't really matter. We have that bloodbath, and then before it fires off, we're going to place Hex. You also saw that I tossed down Valeria. Normally I would do that sooner, but of course I'm sitting here talking, so my attention is split. Which is no worries, that's why you're here. So, we will, as soon as possible, be triggering off Hex so that we can recall him as soon as possible. And then right around here, we're going to trigger Valeria to deal with this clone. So these two are already spoken for. And you can basically ignore down here. And again, we're going to use our little wood nymph. Only those two, really, just to build up a lot of cost early on. That's all I'm looking for. We can go ahead and pull back Hex, and then we toss down Hatsut facing this way, and we use Lily to cover her, and she also has the Invigoration set, so she's going to give Hatsut a nice little buff. And these guys, this is another thing to point out. You're going to want someone with some damage here. I tried with Baron, and he just... I mean, you could build him, you know, a little bit more offensively, and he could probably take care of these archers, but, you know, Volka, Abomination, they handle it so much more smoothly, and you only need 3 block if you can manage to kill all these archers. So a fighter with the Lunacy Visor is perfectly fine to handle that. And then here you might be tempted to toss out the Hatsut ult. I don't. I like to wait for timing purposes in the future. We are set down here. We're going to hold on to this little wood nymph because she's going to be relevant here in a minute. And then right around when that archer gets here, I like to fire off the Hatsut ult. Gives plenty of time to whittle down these guys up here, and sometimes it even kills this archer here. Now, here is one of the spots where it can get a little dicey. This clone that's coming around the corner does a shitload of damage, and Volka is only so tanky. So we are going to do everything we can to keep her going. We also have to pay attention to Ardea. The fact that we can't control her ult makes this a little bit more difficult because she will be constantly trying to kill herself. So we have to try and line everything up so that Eloin isn't trying to keep her alive at the expense of Volka and vice versa. So, this is the magic clone. I'm dumb. Wait. No. Never mind. We might cut that out. We might leave it. Right? Nope. I'm dumb. This is the fun of joining me in real time. Everything I said still applies. It's just we also toss Hex down. You can see she does a lot of damage. So we want to use the Wood Nymph, we want to use Eloin, we want to use her own ult, which marks a target, so it makes them easier to kill. And of course, if that enemy dies, they gain HP. But I believe she also has a passive that works with this to help with recovering health. I might just be under the wrong impression, but this is how I've been doing it. And you can see Hex with his much faster ult thanks to the exclusive is putting in some serious work. These guys are dead. Again, I haven't been paying too much attention up here. We'll fire off Hatsut's ult. The reason that I mentioned the timing before is that you usually want to fire off 2 of them. I think we might be fine here because these bounces might get the job done. They did not. So we're going to have to rely on a second ult. Now, that's not exactly a deal breaker because she gets her rage back pretty quick here. Without Eloin, that would just basically be game over. Now, we need to pull back Hex. I might have waited a little bit long, but I think this rotation here doesn't matter as much because we hold him for a little while. But we have the physical clone coming in, so we're going to toss down Valeria again.
Mother's blessings upon you.
And Hatsut ult to kill that. Then right around here again, we trigger off Valeria. And Eloin is keeping everyone fat and happy. That's the intention anyway. You can see it gets pretty dicey. But I don't really want to use Eloin's ult. Honestly, if Ardea dies, I'm just going to reset the run. Because we're going to need Eloin to try and keep Volka alive again for the next magic clone. And it looks like it worked out there. So we have these guys who spawned up here again. This clone is dead. We're going to use Hatsut's ult as soon as possible. That always throws me off when Valeria dies, because I'm not watching her when it happens. Hatsut ult. There's the warning that our gargoyle is coming back. See, we have Hex back, but we're not going to place him. The gargoyle is not a problem, but this clone is. This clone will kill everything in like this big radius, and that includes this tile here. And I think it goes past Hex's dodge. I don't remember for sure, but I am not going to test it live for you. So, it is, again, a bit of a waiting game. We're going to use Hatsit's ult as soon as possible.
Feel the flames.
To take out all of these mobs. And we had that bloodbath that just went by, so we're just going to pull her back to get her to respawn as quick as possible. And we're going to trigger off Edith's ult. I was talking, so we might be... Yeah, we let Ardea die there, so that's not great. We might be able to still make it, but otherwise I will reload here, so... All right, and we're back. I probably showed you the whole sped up clip here. I don't necessarily like when content creators cut to the next clip and don't show anything that happened before. It might be a practical issue. I guess we'll find out. This is not the first time I'm doing this, but this is one of the hardest pieces of content in the game. So naturally, it's not going to be, you know, a one and done perfect run every time. But we are back to the gargoyle. We have him coming by, and we want to time Edith's ult a little bit better. We don't want Ardea to die, so we don't want to go too early. We don't want to go too late. And finding that sweet spot can be a little bit of a challenge. A lot easier with Power of Dominance, obviously. Bloodbath damage comes through, so we pull back Hatsit. And there we go. Push the gargoyle. Push him again so we can summon Hex. You can see Lily died, but Torador here is still alive. So we are going to go ahead and drop in our Wood Nymph. Use both of those ults and toss Valeria in over here. I'm going to pause because this is happening a little bit quick. That's one of the challenges with this, is just how much is happening at once. So we can see Volka's here at about half health. I'm hoping all of these heals are enough to do the job. And we just need Hex's ult as quick as possible to start chipping away that clone. And you can see Volka here died. So we might be able to still make it. We're going to rely on Araka here to get extra block. Just to pause them.
Feel the flames.
And we might have done it. Ardea here is still in trouble, but we have the Valeria ult, and Torador doesn't really matter. But we have made it through the hardest piece. Even if Ardea dies here, it's not the end of the world. It sucks, don't get me wrong, but there she goes. Our Blood Mistress should be gone, so we can go ahead and toss in Hatsut. Hatsut ult. And Edith ult. And I was a little late on everything, but you can see that we did manage to get the job done. Eventually. There we go. Right, so the idea here, a little bit more health can make it more easily done on Volka to survive over there, and then, you know, everything is hunky-dory. But I think I am relatively satisfied with that. I might show another sped up run just to prove that I can do it, but that's how we clear stage 10. All right, and there you have it. Not a perfect run because Hex died, but I don't know. This is like my 5th time doing this, and one of them I wasn't even recording. So this is this I think is where we're going to call it. Obviously, you know, it can be done. 3 stars, perfect-ish. But no, that'll do it for this this particular comp. Give me a moment to get warmed up with the Carnelian one, and I will get right back to you. All right, so confession. I'm sure you're noticing, or probably not, that this number is a little bit different here. I actually filmed the Carnelian run upcoming before I forgot basically to show the gear here. So I recreated it as best I could. I didn't remember exactly, but the number is actually lower, so it should prove the point that you don't necessarily need it to be up this high. But this is the gear that I use on Araka. It's nothing special. I don't think she was even placed in the original. You know, skills, awakenings, frigid flame, none of that really matters. Hex, of course, the star of the show. Really solid soulbound gear. Plenty of attack speed. Well, a little bit of attack speed. We're going Sutra of Caprice. This is the same in both runs, so if I cover that in more detail on the Carnelian one, at least now you know why. Lily is wearing something different purely because I was trying to get the number to match the previous run. She's an epic, so everything's maxed out. Euphoric Orb. Eloin, same deal, you know, there's a lot of different stats that work for her. This is, you know, not even optimized at all for this. And I just, to confirm, I just ran a run to make sure that this gear actually works. So it definitely is capable of doing the job. So max skills, Awaken 3, huge for Semra, and the max Golden Scarab. We have Edith. Edith is purely in a tank set. She just needs plenty of HP, and she's really just there to knock back. Torador is in kind of the same boat. He's just set up to tank. He pretty much just blocks. No awakenings, max skill, full Bastion Ring. Hatset is wearing the best quote-unquote gear on my account. She has the Semra Praetus, so tons of attack. She's got the attack speed. You know, this is some of my best stuff with HP to boot. And of course the Ichor Chalice. She was my 2nd max skill hero ever, so she has had this for a long time. And no awakenings because she is the rarest non-legendary lord in the game. Valeria doesn't need much to do what she does here. She just needs to pop her ultimate and wipe out preferably everybody, but at least the Volka clone, and then Volka can handle the other 2 after that. Max skills, Awaken 2, and just the Flux Pendant on this one. She doesn't, like I said, she doesn't need much. Volka has a bit of an interesting mix. This is what I use on Torador and Semra. So plenty of HP, but some extra attack, some crit rate, some crit damage, so he can actually get some stuff done. Attack speed, I'd love some rage regen on it, but it's, you know, you can only work with what you got. This piece in particular, like I kind of run out of really solid gear on the damage dealers, so he kind of gets what's left over. You notice the tanky stuff on the side here. Max Awakening. I wish Max Skill would have made the Carnelian run that you're going to see here a lot easier. And Lunacy Visor. This doesn't need to be maxed out. She just needs the extra block. And Ardea. Ardea is wearing her, I believe, arena set. GVG, I think it's the same. I just use this in arena as well because she needs HP there as well. So she's got that. She's got the tons of attack, you know, some attack speed, all the good stuff basically. I'd prefer this be HP bonus, but like I said, we work with what we got. Max skills, no awakenings because she's also ridiculously rare, and a Realm Tear maxed out. And that is the gear for the standard run.
Your queen has arrived. They don't stand a chance. Prepare to enter a world of pain. Find strength. The blaze begins. Let's see what the cards have in store. Let's run.
There's nowhere to run now.
Luck of the draw. Feel. Don't touch me. Take my claymore. Come for Reedy. Seeing you, kid.
The games have come at last!
Let's run.
Smile at the flap.
My daggers feed on your fear.
Feel the flames. Don't touch me.
Die like the others.
For the tribe. Find strength. For fear the beast's fury. For the tribe.
My daggers feed on your fear.
Smile at the flowers and they smile at you.
Feel the flames.
Let's see what the cards have in store.
Don't touch me.
What are you looking
Draw an arrow. Be seeing you, kitties. The wafer lies in wait. Taste my
daggers feed on your fear.
Feel the flames.
more prey for the.
Smile at the flowers and they smile at you.
Let's ride.
Don't touch me. Fear the beast. Don't touch me. Wanna try?
My daggers feed on your fear.
Your screams are music to my ears. Feel the flames. Trying strength.
My work begins. Has my time come?
Smile at the flowers and they smile at you.
Don't touch me.
Four legs are always better than two.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, that one was a huge pain in the ass. There were some people in Discord saying that this is an easier method than using the Eloin, what even are the Eloin and Hatsut, right? I don't really believe that, but of course I have a fully built out Hatsut and my Volka is missing some skills, so I'm sure that makes a huge difference because Volka was having a very difficult time there. You'll notice there was no commentary. I tried for like 2 hours to get that run done properly, and I changed a lot of gear around and it was still incredibly tight. The Gone timings are incredibly tight, and of course it's a proof of concept without Eloin, so you don't get that buffer on the rage regen either. So but I was able to get it done so that I have an alternative to show you guys here. I've seen some more alternatives popping up on YouTube, so hopefully this just adds to the pile. Now, let's go ahead and get into the gear. Araka is nothing special. She could easily be bumped up. We have an invigoration set. This is just what I use for her on Guild Boss. She actually contributed. I don't actually use this on Guild Boss, I don't think, but she contributed more than I was expecting, to be perfectly honest. She was just there for extra pings and hope, really. But so you can see her skills didn't really shake out all that great. Her passives, low. Her ultimate low. So she could definitely be improved. I've seen some people using Yovar as well. I definitely understand why. Yovar does a ton of damage. Well, maybe not a ton, but he helps. Hex, definitely one of the stars of the show. He has crazy, I don't know about crazy, but attack bonus, soulbound, and probably the best sword on my account. I probably could have swapped this gear. I might have even been able to swap it to Volka, but I think actually Volka has better stuff. Though these might have helped. But Hex, he cleared very easily. So I could have toned down the gear a bit and you could get away with less, but that's that's assuming you have the Sutra of Caprice, of course, and max skills because he's Hex. Lily, easy A5, easy max skill. Her gear, you know, is not so relevant. She needs enough HP to survive. She needs enough attack, and really she needs attack speed and healing effect. I believe this is my Eloin set, yeah, for GVG, which is probably going to get changed with the new season coming up here. I still haven't gone through and reevaluated my defenses. I have been busy like crazy with the twins almost here, so I've been a bit checked out on that department. Here with Constance, this is also, I believe, a saved set. This is what I use on her for Semra. So, you know, lots of HP, lots of decent attack, right? All attack. Okay, so yeah, good attack. Invigoration set. The attack speed is kind of irrelevant for her, but it's useful in other content. And sometimes I give her rage regen, but she really needs a crap ton of rage regen for it to matter, so I just didn't bother with it here. Awaken 2, max skills, and then of course the Astral Obelisk for the extra rage regen. So that's partly how I can get away with not having a ton on her gear. Edith has my where is it? Oh, right. It was a saved set. This is what I use minus one of these pieces. I don't remember which, but this is basically what I use with Gon in Arena. She is also a defense scaling hero. I just decided, or not decided, yes, I decided to give her a ton of extra defense so that she could contribute to the damage because Volka was not able to cut it. Results may vary. I have really, really good gear on Volka, but her skills are not maxed and they didn't shake out that great, so that could certainly be a deciding factor on how much you have to go. Edith, I mean, her skills kind of don't matter anyway, but you know, nothing on the ultimate also kind of stinks. No awakening, and a full bastion ring. Gone. Come on. Gone, we just have in a survivability set. No consideration given for defense. They just happen to be on here. There's not much more to say, really. He is there to ult and block as many units as possible to give Ardea time to finish them off. That's why the timing is so important. Ardea, she has extra HP for survivability and tons of attack. This is not her saved set, right? Yeah, I had to break apart some sets here to get this done. So normally she would have a lot more attack, but this is what we made do with here, so that better pieces could go on someone else. She is also max skill, no awakening, and realm tier full. Carnelian, one of the stars of the show. She's an attack-based healer. Nobody cares. She is not there to provide a ton of healing. She is there to get out those orbs as fast as possible. So, she has HP for survivability, and she has tons of attack speed and rage regen, and that's really about it. This is also a saved set. This is also what I use for Semra. Also max skills for GVG. I've pulled her a few times, and full golden scarab. I didn't do any real testing. I just sort of theory crafted here that extra attack for extra healing, since we were pretty light on the gear. The euphoric orb might be more relevant, but I only have one of those maxed. And I don't remember if I showed it, but it is on Lily. Then there is Valeria, and she has crit attack. She was dying a bit too early. That's why I needed to slap some better stuff on Lily here. Your mileage may vary. Valeria is, in the original concept that I saw, she is the stand-in for Valderon. And Valderon is a lot tankier and a lot stronger overall. So he is obviously a better choice if you have him. The gear required is certainly a lot less. And he does have the Undying, which can buy him a lot more time. So for Valeria, I tried to get her to survive the clone, and that was just not working, so I decided to time her ultimate so that she could kill the archer along with it, and that, as you saw, ended up working a lot better. I've had her full skilled forever. I've pulled her a few times, and the Wailing Skull for the extra damage, I'm not sure if that is really a difference maker there, because with her ultimate she was going to kill him regardless, so more survivability probably would have been better. But I think the only options there were Lunacy Visor, which is a little bit half-assed in this area, and the Key of the Forsaken, which I do not have a maxed version of. And lastly is Volka. Volka has my Praetus set. Here. This is what Praetus uses on Semra, so this is some good shit. This is attack, 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 tons of HP, tons of attack speed. Really good sword, so I guess she has a really good sword too. Really good plate. But her skills are very lackluster here. This one, Scarlet Feast, like nobody really cares about, so she's basically a 2-2-2. And this would have helped clearing that bottom lane, especially getting it back quicker. I don't know if the mark duration would have really mattered. The HP restore doesn't matter. And the basic attack, all of her damage scales off of her basic attack, so extra damage there would definitely have been nice. But, I mean, even this, too, extra damage for burning the Scarlet Ferment, that would have been phenomenal. But, you know, I've cleared Tide, so I have her Max Awakening. And the Eye of Sin I would consider mandatory, maxed out for this. I used this on her, and you might have already seen, depending on the order, also on Valkyra for Gear Dungeon 1. And that's the gear and artifacts here. All right, so there you have it. 2 different ways to take out Gear Dungeon 2, Stage 10. Proven here with Power of Dominance. Let's turn that back on. One with Elowen and Hatset, and one without. Of course, you need Carnelian to do it, but thank you guys so much for watching, for joining me here today. Be sure to check out the Celestials Discord. I spend a ton of time there memeing and sharing strategy info. We are prepping super hard for GVG Season 4. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm about as busy as I can be, so I am doing what prep I can, and don't know if you can hear, that's my dog going. But be sure to apply, and we will see if we can get you in there. I think we're full at the moment, but it never hurts to get on our radar here. And of course, if you are less of a GVG snob, there are plenty of other guilds that you can join. Please, again, all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment, share. Everything helps. I read all your comments. I try to respond to all your comments. I appreciate any engagement that you guys throw my way. We're hoping to grow this channel. And just, yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a good one.